Mathline is a live call-in show that is featured here on East Tennessee PBS. The show is hosted by Ernie Roberts, and callers are provided the chance to have their math questions answered live on air. Mathline is live Monday through Fridays from 6 p.m. to 6:30 p.m. here on this station. Jamisha Fain sat down with the show's host to find out more about this program.
Thank you. I'm Jamisha Fain, and I'm here with Ernie Roberts, host of East Tennessee PBS Mathline. How are you, Mr. Roberts?
Hey, I'm doing great today. Thank you for having me on your show today.
How did you come up with Mathline, and who thought of the idea?
Well, I can't take credit for coming up with the idea. My producer, Chris Smith, is one who basically is the brainchild behind this. What he decided was, and he understood that there's a lot of need for tutoring help in the education world. So when he went and discussed with different stations across the country that were doing already things like homework hotlines and such, he found out that 90 to 95% of the calls were math related. So he said, why not focus on math and math alone? And therefore we could concentrate the efforts. So therefore he came and talked with me and said, would you be interested? And for about a year and a half, we've tried to work out details with this and that. So I finally came on board, and hey, we have this show called Mathline, and people are really tuning in. It's great to have that happening.
What role do you think Mathline has had helping people?
I think it helps, first of all, people with confidence. It's not necessarily so much that we are giving them basics, although many times they do and ask for basics, and I go through them step by step. But I think a lot of it helps them get more confidence in what they can do, things they can master. Sometimes they can work out the problems on their own, or they start to see it and they say, oh yeah, I got it, you know. And that's when I call it the aha moment, and it's really nice to see that happen. But also it just is an outlet, it's a resource for those who don't have maybe parents that can help them out. And a lot of our parents say, don't make me help you out after a certain age, you know, whatever, because the math's starting to get harder for them. But it's an outlet for them to call in. And number one, I think it takes courage for them to call in to begin with, to call in and put yourself out there on TV, especially when you're all over East Tennessee. You got a name attached to it, and sometimes you know what school you're coming from, sometimes you know what county you're in. But it takes a little bit of courage to do that. It's scary a lot of times to ask that. But that in itself is one step forward, and then hopefully the next step is they understand, and then I can explain it well enough for them to have a grasp on it and go back and do other problems that are like it on their own.
Alrighty. And from my information, Mathline was recently recognized by the Knox County School Board of Education about this program. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
This is coming from the fact we're hoping to partner with Knox County Schools, which is a wonderful educational entity. I've been a teacher with Knox County before, and it was great pleasure. Dr. McIntyre and the Board of Education all were in agreement to give us a recognition, but also to help promote the show, to promote it as a resource among their students, their teachers, that again, we're not a catch-all. We only are on, 30 minutes a day, and we answer as many questions as we can, but there's so many others out there that are probably untapped and untouched. But we're a resource for those who are willing to call in, and for those who are looking at problems very similar to what are being asked of us at the time. And we have a theme show once a week that delves into problems of the higher level for the Algebra 1 classes, especially we're working on those to do, and also fractions, decimal percents, things that are basics, but they will hopefully be available online eventually down the road.
All righty. Thank you for talking with us today.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me on your show.
Thank you. Back to Kayla.